Um, Hello. What do you do for a living?
Me first. I'm Dr. Mimi Avendaño. I'm a doctor, a pediatrician, and child neurologist of a government hospital as well as a private hospital.
My name is Lorraine. I'm actually an overseas Filipino worker. I have been working in Singapore for around 5 years now as a project manager in an IT firm.
Um, as of now, today, you guys know that the Philippines is a third world country, meaning poverty is spread around the country. What do you think poverty is? What is your definition of poverty?
You, Poverty, for me, it's the inability of a person to um, meet the minimum amount of, for example, money or amount of resources that could make life livable or life meeting the basic needs of a particular person and a family. So it's the inequity between what is supposed to be what is good living or basic living as against what is absent or what is deficient in a person's financial status.
Thank you.
Celine?
How about
I mean, what else can I add to that? I agree with what Dr. said. So, people who cannot afford what they actually need to survive on a day-to-day basis. And unfortunately, in the Philippines, I mean, everywhere you go, you'll see a lot of people in this situation.
Okay, now that we have that established, how do you think it affects you personally?
I'm in the medical field, so I know that a lot of people would need the services of doctors, and if a particular family or particular person does not have enough money, then they will not be able to avail of medical services. What is available here in the country is a very minimum field health, which is not even comparable to the national health systems of the other countries. So most of Filipinos get sick and do not have access to adequate and the needed medical services. So we do see a lot of illnesses, a lot of complications brought about by poverty because of their difficulty getting the basic medical services.
For me, I guess like every time I come back from Singapore or whenever I come back here to the Philippines, it just makes me feel sad that still so many people in the country are unable to meet their basic needs, and a lot of them are still living in poverty. I mean, I work in Singapore, which is relatively a new country, and in their 50 years of existence, they were able to really drive like growth, to be able to get to a successful state as a nation overall. And if you go around there, like you don't see a lot of people who are poor living in the streets, because the government has established the whole structure, the whole support system to kind of make the citizens at least have all their basic needs, and also to have like a more equitable distribution, or at least availability of goods and services to all the people in Singapore. So for me, I hope that as time progresses with people who are how to say, like passionate and then driven to make the Philippines grow and develop in the same way. I mean, seeing how a small tiny country could go from nothing to a very successful state, I mean, it makes us hope that maybe the Philippines has some room to grow for the future.
Lastly, how do you think poverty affects the Philippine economy?
If if we have no resources, if the poverty actually is the baseline or the foundation for a lot of failures. So if we are poor, therefore intellectually or medically, in terms of health situation, we cannot access good health. In Singapore, I think there is no record of malnutrition basing on the health services. So in the country, if you are poor, you are malnourished. If you are malnourished, you have a lot of intellectual or mental concerns, mental retardation, etc. So you cannot have good citizens if a country is poor, and therefore, if you do not have healthy citizens, this you will not have good outputs in terms of the different occupations or the different health and the different professions in order to make the country viable. Also, you cannot have good leaders, and um, you cannot have a very good system that would make the country improve further. So we have to target first poverty above all, other than any other thing, because that could be the root of all the things that could make a successful nation.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Dr. Ara said. You know, it's a cycle. Like, as long as people continue in the cycle of poverty, it's not, people are not able to grow, right? And as a country, you know, we'll be stagnant. Although I think in recent years, the economy of the Philippines has been growing. I think with the amount of people that we have, the resources that we have, the Philippines still has a lot more potential, and to be able to get